ain't even start the intros over.
Wow.
We ain't even put the title in the intro.
But we're gonna put it now. Like, so right now we're about to talk about. We can talk about right now.
Yeah. Alright, so the topic for today is top 5 things that you can negotiate during your real estate transaction. And how you want to do this? You want to say one, I say one, or you just want to just let it flow?
We're gonna let it flow. But
Okay.
I'm gonna start off, number one. So I would say the top thing right now, especially right now, is the price.
Yes.
You can definitely negotiate the price.
Yep.
We pay attention to the market, and we see a lot of like sellers like price dropping.
Quick and a lot.
Yeah, because
Yep.
it's not as much competition as it was like in the previous years, within the past year or two. So there is definitely room to negotiate that price.
It is. Even the contractors, the builders are making more efforts to come out to different firms, Keller Williams, Metro Brokers, and they're practically begging us to bring people in. They're telling us all the incentives that they are offering right now. So yeah, I agree. The purchase price is negotiable right now, and it's crazy because a few months ago, not a few months ago, but a few years ago during the pandemic, everybody wanted to negotiate, and that was the wrong time to negotiate. But right now is the time, so we just need everybody who couldn't get a property to just come on back in, show us some love. We're gonna show y'all some love, and the seller's gonna show y'all some love too, because they're gonna be willing to negotiate on that purchase price, or just right out the gate, probably even just drop the price. So yeah. So something that I know you can negotiate right now, or they'll be a little willing to negotiate, is repairs. If they don't repair themselves, if the sellers don't repair themselves, they may be willing to put some money in escrow for you to have those repairs repaired once you purchase the property. But yeah, I would say the repairs is negotiable right now.
Yeah, so that was number 2. Number 3, so to kind of to piggyback off what he said, if not the repairs, you can definitely negotiate the seller concessions.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely something. So sometimes they won't, like, I'm not about to fix that, but I'll give you like 10,000 or whatever towards your closing. So actually with the seller concession, you can use that. Right now what's popular is a buy down your interest rate. So you can definitely use that seller concessions to buy down the interest rate as well. And then with that, you don't have to, if you don't use it for that, you don't have to use as much money up front with the seller concession if you do get that. So I definitely think that's a plus right now. Another thing that you can negotiate. That was number 3. We got 2 more. What's number 4?
Ooh, number 4. It's probably not popular, but I'm gonna throw it in though.
Okay,
I feel like sometimes in these transactions we kind of like straight by the book. What this last agent told me went down, like let me try it. But I would say try to get the seller to pay for your put some money towards escrow for your moving expenses. Is that even possible? Can they throw some money aside for you to help you out? Because they can do it with your repairs, but can they help you out with like another expense, or just put money in escrow because, or can you negotiate that? I feel like it's a transaction. I feel like you should be able to.
I feel like, yes, like some companies will definitely let you pay at closing.
Mm-hmm.
So that could definitely be a way, like, okay, well, your move is $500, but you can pay at closing, and then the seller uses part of the seller concession to pay that at the closing. So, okay.
Yeah, something to negotiate. I feel like it's a transaction, and it's contracts. Whatever you put on the contract and both parties are willing to do, it should go down. But there is some gray areas, like when the seller is giving money, you can't use it for down payment or something like that, stuff like that. So what's that? That was 4.
That was 4. Okay.
So number 4 was pretty much try to think outside the box to see what else you can get, because it's a negotiation period right now.
Yeah, it's a negotiating period right now. So definitely. One thing I believe you said number 5, the home warranty.
Yep.
Home warranty is something you can definitely negotiate. I know back, a year or 2, you wasn't really getting a home warranty. You would have to pay for it yourself if you're the buyer. Now you probably can definitely negotiate a home warranty. warranty, and that goes along with, you know, if they aren't willing to maybe do the repairs or whatever, give you money towards the concession, or they get them to get you a home warranty. Yeah.
Let me ask you: what's one of your last things you had to negotiate during a real estate transaction that you could just like really remember? It don't have to be the last deal you had, but you know, something that you was like, yo, we'll have to negotiate. We'll have to talk to these people.
I can definitely say I've had a transaction and it wouldn't pass because of the back deck. Like it was a horrible process. Like they were saying that the back deck was not like safe or whatever, and we had to keep going back and forth. I was representing the buyer, and we had to keep going back and forth. Like, okay, well, y'all gonna get the deck fixed? Like, what's gonna happen? And so the seller actually was willing. Not really, but after so long, like, all right, let's get this done. We negotiated, and he actually like had the deck torn down at his expense, kind of thing, because it just wasn't quote unquote safe at the time. So that's definitely something.
So when you was going through these negotiations, did you have to keep putting like an amendment to the contract in and asking for a different stipulation or something that you guys wanted?
Yeah, so we definitely kept having to just go back, like, what are we gonna do? Because we got to the point where the buyer was tired, because literally this was like, our closing date was this day, and then we closed 2 months later after that date. So we already was waiting. So like by that time, like we just kept going, because we didn't want to like get out of contract between the seller side and the buyer side. So we just kept going back and forth. All right, you willing to do this? We willing to do this, because we trying to look. We all tired. We trying to get to the closing table. So what about you? How you feel?
Something that I had to negotiate in the past was washing machine and dryer.
Okay.
It was a washing machine and dryer, and these buyers, I was representing the seller, and the washing machine and dryer wasn't part of the sale. But then when they came back and wanted some repairs done in the garage, we was really able to work something out between the seller and the buyer with the washer and dryer and the repairs. So it's like, you give me this and you'll forget about that. So yeah, we negotiated. We had to keep putting in amendments to the contract, make sure everybody signed it. And it was just a little small negotiation, but we negotiated the transaction to make sure that it go through. Because a lot of times, I feel like a transaction won't go through is because sometimes us as the agent may not know how to go about negotiating. And really, the simplest way to think about it for me is all you're doing is just asking for something. You asking, and then you're thinking, okay, what can I give and what can I take? So, for instance, I know when I'm looking at an inspection report, you may have a major expenditure, and then you may have some small things that's like, a little leaky faucet or something like that, or a light bulb need to be replaced in the utility closet or something like that, versus a hot water tank and a hole in the roof. So some of those things you may have to ask for and give and take. Like, we're not gonna worry about this little leaky faucet, but hey, I'm sorry, that little hole in the roof, we're gonna have to find a way to come to terms on that.
Right, yeah.
So sometimes you gotta give to take in these negotiations. But at the end of the day, the easiest way for me to think about it is, okay, we just asking for things, and then they're gonna say yes or no, and then we may ask for something else in replace of that. And it's just asking, giving, taking, and realizing what your client can give or what your client can take, or what they can't give and what they're willing to take. It's just whatever, vice versa. It's just asking and giving. That's it.
Yeah, I agree with that, because what you were saying, it made me remember a time where, and sometimes you may talk to the agent. The agent is not the client. So I have had me and my client, we needed some. Look, we need y'all to come down on this price, or we need some closing costs.
Yeah.
And so, I was talking it over with the agent, and she was just like, my client not gonna go up for that. Send over the termination kind of thing. And so what I did, I sent over like, okay, well, we need this money or whatever. And like an hour or two later, it came back to us signed.
Yep.
Yeah. So negotiation is definitely a thing, and
Yeah.
sometimes, hey, look, don't take no.
I'm saying, hey, this is a side note. You other agents out there, if you listening to this, present all offers to your client. Stop answering for your client.
Yeah.
So, like you just said, it took them 1 hour to get back and say yes.
Yeah.
So how did it's probably because that agent, didn't present whatever you wanted. Like, no, we not want to take this. And they thought about it and like, okay, I have to present. And now the sellers, because a lot of times the sellers, they be wanting to get out of that situation to get gone. They need to go to another state, or they already bought another house, or they about to go live in the mother-in-law suite of their kid's house, or they getting ready to go to the nursing home, or whatever the case may be. Sometimes people gotta go, so you never know. You just need to ask. That's all I'm trying to say. Just ask. You never know what that person's situation is. You don't know the urgency, so just ask.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the things, because I think what helped us was they had been in and out of contract like 2 times already. So I'm pretty sure by that time the seller was like, all right, let's get this sold. Like,
Exactly.
so,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
hey, so yeah.
Yeah. Is that it? So we hit him with the 5.
We hit them with the 5.
Do we remember the 5? The first one.
The price, negotiate the price.
Yeah, negotiate the price.
Repairs.
Repairs.
Repairs was one.
Yeah,
One of
repairs
them.
was one. I know I said think outside the box and try to, get some other expenses, because there's a lot of other expenses that go into purchasing a home that, a lot of times people don't think about. So I said maybe moving expenses can be an expense that you can get the seller to pay for if they're not willing to do something else. So that was 3.
The seller concessions, and then
seller concessions
the home warranty.
and home warranty. So
Yeah.
that's 5 things that you can negotiate during your real estate transaction. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in.